Did you hear about on CS:GO actually another controversy where like they have the gambling thing?
Yep. So we
did you guys cover that?
I feel like everyone in the world's covered it a lot, but personally, as a person who enjoys, so let's explain it first. Real brief, like because everyone's already heard this.
Okay. Well, basically. There's a gambling website where you can trade in your item and hopefully roll for a better one, or you might end up with nothing, or I don't know if you can end up worse. I guess you can end up worse off than
I guess you lose your item, or you end up worse off with like a crappy common item. I'm not sure how it works either. Me either, but sounds like roulette or something.
Yeah, exactly. You're basically gambling, and famous people or really good people at CS:GO are posting videos of themselves getting these really good items and these new items, and then all of a sudden people buy into it thinking that they're going to get it. But here's the kicker is the company already gave them the good item. They're just opening something they know they're going to get. It's because they're sponsored.
Oh, that's not...
That person or that player is sponsored by the company before they even say that. They think that they have no ties.
Wow.
But like, it's like the CEO is like the person that actually owns a YouTube channel. There's like, it's like there's a big
super shady. It's super shady. So people who are already familiar on it, my 2 cents on it is
you should have some scumbag shit.
That's why
scumbag drop.
My 2 cents. I never electronically gamble ever, because you can never trust that stuff, man. You can never trust stuff. If I'm going to gamble, I'm going to go play cards at a table. Yeah. Which, yes, people are going to say, oh, they can still mess with that. They can still do the shoe and blah, 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 blah. You know what? People come up and sit down and walk off, and the person has the deck. I trust that way more than putting my money digitally into something and saying, like hopefully, Vegas? I win? You know,
like Vegas.
Hands on. Like if I'm even a slot, I don't do slot machines because I don't really enjoy them. I like hands on stuff, roulette, card games.
Yeah.
Even occasional like scratch off, whatever that you can see the odds online,
right?
And their government like looks over them, and people have stuff that looks over them. And yes, there's still shady shit in there, but online, all it takes is a tweak of a number, man. It's weird.
Yeah.
You can really change stuff at a drop of a hat.
Yeah, you don't even know the algorithms. How really random is it? There's no such thing. I mean, it's like what is it on video games? It's RNG, random number generator. So everyone's always praying to RNG's this, et cetera, et cetera. It's pretty funny. It's like you're hoping that you're gonna get that good thing, but how accurate are they? From my experience, they're not that random. They're pretty like repetitious. It's like it's stupid,
and that sucks that people were spending real money, losing real stuff.
Yeah.
In attempts to think that they were playing a game of chance that they thought was explained to them in a fair and transparent way, and it wasn't.
Yeah, and it's their idols, like kids' idols that they see on YouTube. On top of that, telling them, "Hey,
so unfortunate.
Why don't you just go put your money on that? You might get something like super rare."
Wow, sucks,
that's
dude.
Scummy.
Yeah. And so this 8-year-old's looking at this. Well, let's say 13, because I don't know what the minimum is. 8. You should have to do 18 to gamble. First off,
yeah, but that's the thing. They said they're mad because they should be like you should be illegal because it's basically gambling, and you should have like all these restrictions and all this like legislation, I guess, put against it. Like
that's what fantasy football has now. Yeah, those have real legislation.
To go through a lot
Texas
to get to that.
Does not have fantasy football right now. I'm sorry, I keep saying the wrong thing. Like FanDuel and DraftKings, where you bet daily fantasy stuff, has been outlawed in Texas. As far as I know, the last time I tried to log into my app, says Texas is now out of it. I mentioned this previous, but now the football season's around and we're talking about this.
We're going to do a fantasy team.
Yeah, and we're doing a new fantasy team. That's a total side note. But this is related to this Counter-Strike thing because, it's online gambling, but this has to do with sports, and it's kind of deeper. But they have regulation, man. They have regulation, and these don't.
Yeah,
and
it's little kids.
You know what they want? The state wants their cut. The government wants the cut.
Taxes.
Wherever they're hosting it wants a cut.
Exactly. That's what Uber happened.
They're going to have to offshore and outsource and do all that stuff if they want to get around that, or they're going to get shut down. And they shouldn't be doing this anyway. It sounds totally scammy,
scummy.
and scummy. Scammy and scummy.
It's like betting on your kids' freaking little league team, man. Like you can't do shit like that.
Yeah.
There's just some shit you don't mess with.
Yeah, it's like a little kid having a bike, and he's like, maybe he's like, give me your bike and I can give you a better one, but he ends up with nothing. It's like, why are you going to do that to him?
And you may end up with a better one. You may.
Right. So go get your mom's credit card.
But that's gambling. Gambling is gambling.
Yeah.
But when you say here are your odds, and then in the back you're saying, yeah, these are not really your odds.
Yeah.
Like I'm really screwing you. Your odds are actually 10 times worse, or actually you don't even have any odds. This is rigged. You are going to lose. Which sucks, man. That is horrible, because then you've been feeding the monster. All you're doing is just pouring money down the drain, or pouring your items, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the scenario how you get items.
You gotta be careful with your
buy
sponsorships.
boxes.
Just don't gamble.
Yeah.
No,
Unless
well,
you're in Vegas.
gamble
Unless
and
you're in Vegas.
know where you're gambling, what you're gambling with. Like, don't gamble in a back alley. Don't gamble online. Gamble in person in an official place.
Most importantly, label gambling as gambling, because that is definitely gambling.
That is gambling.
They're basically saying it's just a website for fun, like you're re-rolling, but these items cost thousands of real life dollars.
They have a real economy.
Yeah, you're losing
backing
money.
them.
Like, you can get a knife for a couple $1,000.
If you can
on that game.
legitimately liquidate something into cash, that has an economy behind it. Now, I'm not saying it's a stable economy or a strong economy,
But it's an economy
but it's an
nonetheless.
economy that exists. So, okay, which people can take advantage of. So that's capitalism, and sadly, but that's also illegal. That's specifically illegal. That's not capitalism. That's very illegal. So,
capitalism.
shut those guys down.